life shine. You gotta be working to get the woman and the wine. Kick the beat and get your hands in the air. Shuffle the beat cause it's an African affair. Took off from the park and our home at St. George's. We're bringing the silverware back on the gorgeous. That's the way of the warrior. That's the way of the warrior. That's the way of the warrior. That's the everyday warrior.
Down, coming out of PE town. One drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino's shot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Center Stage.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gino's Spot. Welcome to Gino's Spot. I'm dressed in this attire tonight because we are investigating the Oceanos disaster with the ship. Obviously, the ship that went down in the big waves near East London, somewhere off the Wild Coast. We're going to find out all about it tonight because we have a survivor, Sam Mountfort, who is going to be on tonight. And also Nev is one of the divers as well, and one of the Neville Wilkins, one of the rescuers divers, and he was on there as a Navy diver sorting things out, so we can get a good insight as to what actually happened to the Oceanos. And it's interesting because it's part of our fiber here in the Eastern Cape. All these things that happened across over the years. Obviously, there's been so many shipwrecks over the years, and some of the survivors. We've been listening to a great podcast. It's Des Latham. If you get to listen to him on Spotify, he's been fantastic. He's taken me through the history of South Africa from the early days right through, and he's just so detailed. And these shipwrecks that come up here, that the survivors that made it to shore, even in the early days, as early as the 1600s, they were already coming ashore and living with the people, with the indigenous people here at that time. And it's so interesting. So, but obviously, Oceanos, very recent, and in recent memory, many people remember the Oceanos as well. So it's great to just to pop into it and see what actually happened for those of you whose memories are rusty. And yes, feel free to make comments as well. We're here for you to ask questions. Sam's going to be in the studio. We're going to find out about Sam because Sam is not only an Oceanos survivor, but luckily enough, she also works for Fitch and Leeds, which we're going to find out about. Fitch and Leeds have been with us as a sponsor since the beginning, since the show started in 2020, because I just during 2020, just before COVID, I'd just done their big national convention, what they had in the, it was in Drakensberg or it was up Durban way, and I just finished that and been with the guys. And when we started online, they were like, "Come on, let's get it, let's do this, let's go for it." And I'm ever thankful for that. Also, Amobia, as you can see, our internet provider. Thank you to Nicola and the guys who have done an amazing job over the years as well. And okay, so first of all, I think get something to drink. I've got something new. Sam brought in something new for me. It's called Chateau Del Rey. Chateau Del Rey. It's like a little champers kind of vibe. It's like nice for a wedding or some sort of celebration, which would be marvelous, I thought. And so a celebration of the fact that everybody survived on the Oceanos. That's bloody amazing, considering all the things that were pitted against them. So let me sing you a song. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what you're drinking. Tell me what you're doing. Wait. Before that, Gary's reminding me, of course, our live shows that are coming up. We have actually sold out our 2 shows at the Hellenic. That's the Magnificent Seven, starring Wayne Cullish and the All-Star Band, the Center Stage All-Star Band. It's BG, CCR, Queen, ABBA. Lord, it is the 7 greatest bands of all time, including the Stones and the Beatles. That's right, and Fleetwood Mac. So I think they are. This sold out. It's pretty sold out. So we're gonna try and put in another show if we can possibly make it in some way. But we are launching. Ladies and gentlemen, now listen carefully. If you don't have tickets for those shows, we have got another show that we are doing, which is one of our stable of fab shows that we've done in the past, and that is the Creedence Clearwater Revival show. I can't remember the name of the act. It's called Hey Tonight. That's right. It's called Hey Tonight, and we are doing that on the 24th of May. We have Mike McCauley coming back from Cape Town. Our old band. We've got our good old band together with the Center Stage All-Star Band, and we got including Mike from Cape Town, who's visiting at the time. So we're going to put on that Creedence show in the bowling club at Park Drive Bowling Club. Park Drive Bowling Club's got a nice low ceiling. It's a beautiful venue. It's nicely spread out. You can pack the guys in, and they're going to have a jolt. That's what we're going to do. We're going to blast it out with a 5-6-piece band. We're going to blast out an entire Creedence show for you. So that is going to be a party of a lifetime. Do not miss out on that one. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Hey Tonight. That is on the 24th of May at the Bowling Club. You can get hold of Wendy if you want tickets for that. Don't miss that show, because that is going to be a killer as well. And then obviously, I think there's probably 1 or 2 tickets left. I think it's just about sold out. And as sponsored, of course, by all these shows by Fitch and Leeds, and this particular one by Sovereign as well. But we are at Remo's on the 4th of May, and I think there's probably 1 table left. I think we are nearly full. I think it holds about 150. I think we're probably on 140 something already. So get in if you want to get in and have a good party. That party's ready to happen. My new comedy show starring Winifred Rump and Dolores, my dear wife. We'll be on show that time. Also, not forgetting, on the 31st of May, is that right? 31st of May is Barry Hilton. My great friend Barry Hilton is coming up to PE. Generous soul like I've never seen before. Barry is an absolute legend. And here's a little hello from him right
Hello,
here.
my cousins.
Just put it on, put it
have
on.
got a great road trip lined up in my new GWMP, EEGQ, or any other letters of the alphabet you want to throw in, courtesy of Fusion. I'm stoked that my new vehicle arrived in time for my road trip to PE for my show at the Bowling Club on Friday the 31st of May. I'm staying in a wee PE, but I'll be slaying in a PE. Tickets at Quicket, or call the world famous Wendy from Center Stage. Pull in, don't forget, the 31st of May, PE Bowling Club. Oh, there's plenty parking and it's all safe. My cousins.
Very, he's quite right. The PE Bowling Club has got enclosed parking. So in case you're worried about security, we've got it all sorted out. And it's a beautiful venue. It's lovely. Like I said, it's got a low roof, which means good sound. And Barry's going to be there 31st of May, slaying it as he always does. Okay, so I think let's do a little bit of a song. Let's do a little bit of a song, and then let me sing your comments. Send me something to sing. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what you're drinking. Put it in the comments, and let's have a go at it. I think we're going to put some That's nice. Oh, this is one of the songs we used to do in the kitchen in 2020. So a little bit of a hark back to the past here. Hey! Ooh, deep down in Jamaica, Fabbri. He says hi, how you do? You do. I'm not gonna say that word. It's notorious. Kathy Moss says hiya, Gino. And Camilla Esther says I miss you too, yo. Oh, that's right. She say hi, hi-oh. Colin Equat. What? Uguat is such a difficult word to say. Oh, I said go, Johnny. He's a local shipwreck expert. I like that. Oh, go, Johnny. Oh, Wendy Thompson. She says my show is also sold out. Oh, yeah. That's right. I'll put another one on just for you. Kathy Moss says that hello, Gino. And Brian Wilkinson, I like your surname because it sounds like a reason. Evening, Gino, anchors away. Thank you very much, I say. Sean Paul says, remember this guns on the Oceanos too. Let's stop that one. This is a big ship. Sean Paul's the Oceanos. It's not Oceana. Oceanos. There you go. Philip Fabbri. The champagne is delicious. Forgot that she stole some before she went away. Go, Johnny. Special thanks to Fat Cats, Grace and the guys. They religiously bring us our lovely little eats today. And we've got it's very nice ones today, Grace. Very nice little easy picky things that we can eat while we're chatting away. So we're not going to waste any more time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get our guests on, and we've got Fires van Vuuren, of course, because this was a brainchild of Mike van Vuuren, our insane fast bowler, smacked the ball 1,000 miles out the St. George's cricket ground. Oh, not forgetting, ladies and gentlemen, Alan Stapleton. He's going to love that. What a wonderful picture of Alan Stapleton. We have his last day at Spa today. And let me tell you, Spa, I'm going to go this side. Spa were absolutely amazing with Gino Spot. They sponsored us, I think, for 3 years. And they just gave of themselves. And it was wonderful. Alan Stapleton, a lot to do with that as well. Thank you, Stapes. And cheers. Cheers to you, Stapes, indeed. And we know he's not going to retire in the true sense of the word. He's going to be out and about doing all sorts of stuff, and hopefully he's going to write more books because he's a wordsmith and he loves writing. And Stapes, absolutely cheers from us here at Gino Spot. You're an absolute legend, and we hope we'll have many more beers with you. I think he's a Hansa guy. He's a Hansa Okie. We'll certainly have more beers with you as we go along, and best of luck for your future and what you're going to do, because I'm sure there's going to be something up your sleeve. I know your wife's going to want to keep you at home a little more, I'm sure, but I'm sure you've got enough time to do what you until she kicks you out. Oh my God, I don't want to stay home anymore. He's like sitting around here doing bugger all. But Alan Stapleton, thank you so much for all you've done, and I'm sure the Spa guys. The guys at the Spa DC all feel the same, that you're an absolute legend, and just gave off yourself, so much of yourself to Spa over the years, as well as everybody else as well, everybody around you. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to get into our guest. We've got Samantha Mountfort on, our survivor from the Oceanos.
Ooh, welcome to the show. Now it's your time to shine. We're gonna have a chat tonight. Another good time.
All right, and we're in. Samantha,
Hi,
welcome.
thank you.
Survivor. I'm so glad you survived the shipwreck.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
You can say hello to your mates. Absolutely. And finally, to actually also have somebody from Fitch and Leeds on this.
Yeah, it's like a double whammy.
I've been trying to get Gary on for ages, Gary the Brain. But Gary's like, no, I don't do that sort of thing, you know. He's shy. But and just tell us a little bit what you do at Fitch as well.
Yeah, so I look after some of the key retailers as national key accounts. So Spa is actually one of my
Oh, really?
clients,
Okay.
key accounts,
Yeah,
and
wonderful.
then the international exports as well.
Okay. Oh, exports
So,
too,
yeah.
because you guys are sending over to all sorts of places. Where
Yeah,
about
Mauritius is our biggest market at the moment. Which is awesome.
Mauritius.
I know I have to go there for work. It's terrible.
I'm
yeah.
sure it is.
So yeah, Mauritius, Seychelles. Yeah, we in Africa. We quite well represented as well. So yeah.
I know you were putting little feelers out to Ireland and England and those
Yes,
places.
we've actually just launched in the UK and Ireland now.
Wow.
So our first container went last year, and we actually got another order going in this
Magic.
probably on Monday, which is great. So that's really taking
All
off.
of you guys in the UK, you can order
Bring
some
Fitch and Leeds.
Fitch and Leeds. Yeah, that one. Fitch and Leeds, you can do, and that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's a South African product.
Absolutely.
You know, you wouldn't think of it with Fitch and Leeds. You know, you think it's an English product.
Yeah,
but
no, it's fresh out of Stellenbosch. So
Yeah, fantastic. And you guys got a factory in Stellenbosch?
Yes, so our factory is Stellenbosch, and then we've got sort of depots all over South Africa that supply.
Yes.
Where's a matter of interest does the name come from? Because it does sound very English.
So if you read the back of a can, it does say how there were merchants on a ship going to India to look for like Taste of India and things like that. And there was two guys, Ralph Fitch and William Leeds. And then
South
that's
African.
no. It was just the ship was called the Tiger. So yeah, that's kind of the marketing story.
Yeah, the marketing
So
story.
it does
I needed
sound,
a story
yes,
to put.
so it was like I think it says something like guys from England or wherever.
Yeah.
So I think that's what everyone thinks it actually comes from.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I would just like to digress. And the message I got yesterday, I'd like to actually convey to your dad. He's a very good friend of mine. The original plan was to have Sammy's dad on the show. Thank goodness you pulled out Clyde because your daughter's a lot prettier than you. Jokes, Clyde.
So I say, because I got more hair than him.
And so I mean, Vaz, you fished with them. You've fished with them before. So.
No, listen, I mean, there were
Mountfort,
small
so-
in East
Yeah,
London.
Mountfort. So Fire's heard all the stories about those Oceanos from
Oh, no,
like
just your dad
me.
intrigued me. I mean, we used to go on fishing trips, and let me actually give you the background here. On the Monday prior to that disaster,
Yeah.
Kenny Watson phoned me and he said, Sandy Mountfort, Sam's mom, who I think worked for Rennie's at the time,
I think so.
was dishing out these tickets for 125 Rand from East London to Durban. Find your own way
Bargain.
back.
Oh wow.
So obviously you book an aeroplane or whatever.
Okay.
And I was very keen, but I had to go to Johannesburg on the Monday until the Friday.
Yeah.
My wife was 8 months pregnant, and as I recall, she was also quite keen to go. But we left it in the hands of Kenny Watson. And on the Wednesday or the Thursday, I phoned home from Johannesburg, and what I said, no, Sandy just told me that all the tickets are gone.
You're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, I know. And then I remember getting back, and we went to the Buffs Club, and there was the ship sort of off the Buffs Club there, not far off. Probably a kilometre
in the
off.
ocean, yeah.
Yeah.
The wedding, and the thing was beautifully lit up and it looked magnificent.
Yeah.
The following day, we went to Kenny Watson's, the Saturday evening, we went to Kenny Watson's house for dinner.
Yeah.
At about 5 o'clock, we saw that Oceanos leaving in that gale force wind,
Yeah.
driving rain. You could hardly see it from
No,
here.
it's terrible.
My word.
Anyway, and that's where you come in.
Yeah, we do it.
Yes.
Well, we won't get into that. First, I want to find out a little bit about you as well. Though you PE born and bred here.
East London, born and bred.
Oh, slummies.
I know, slummies.
There we go.
And
Careful, fireboard, says Klein
What
Mountfort.
did you say?
Careful, fireboard.
Not you, my boy.
so yeah, born and bred in East London, and then I moved to PE 2006.
Oh,
And
2006.
then I got my green card, so I'm
Okay.
good. So I didn't go too far.
Yeah.
Up the coast.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love PE, and then I just hung around.
Okay. And school there?
School in Stirling, at Stirling High
Stirling.
School, Stirling Primary
Really
and
nice.
High.
Yes.
It's
How
lovely.
It is Mountford's. Is that like a old sort of Eastern Cape name, or is it where?
The farming. The Mountfords are very well known for farming.
Okay,
Eastern Cape,
1820 settlers.
Kids Beach. Also.
Kids Beach.
But I suppose from there, everyone is still, they've moved on. They're still farming, but they've moved into other areas. But
okay.
yeah, that's
Look,
kind
it's
of. I
an
think
interesting name.
Mountfort is. I think it's Irish.
Irish.
Something
No, a
explains.
little bit of Irish.
Yeah.
Nazi, are you Irish or German?
French
Ask
or
your dad.
something.
Or French.
I think we're Irish. I don't know.
You'll know.
something
You'll
like
know
that.
for sure.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So for sure, an Eastern Cape family.
Yes,
that's
Eastern
great.
Cape family. My parents are still in East London. Hopefully, we'll get them to JV.
Always from East
See?
London, weren't they? From Queenstown.
Oh,
Fort
King
Bay.
Williamstown.
King Williamstown. Quancy,
Dale,
eh?
Dale and KHS, where my parents went to school.
Dale, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
My
That's
dad's
it.
Old Dalian.
Okay. No, well, there'll be probably a couple of Queenians out
Yeah.
there that'll tell them the Dale's crap, and then
Probably.
yeah,
Yeah.
one of those. and it's I mean I've just done the Mad Hatters at Port Alfred now this last weekend, and there was just a whole bunch of Albany there. It was great. I just love the vibe, you know. I've always said to Fires as well, we know so many sportsmen
Yeah,
come from
absolutely.
these schools.
And if everyone kind of stayed in our region, we'd have like the best sports.
I know we would. I know.
But,
But we'll get them. We'll get it eventually.
Okay.
We'll get it. And Conte, that's King Williamstown.
No idea.
It's Quancy. You can say Quancy. Conte.
No idea.
Jeez, you don't have to go there. No.
Yeah,
And
I know.
Komani is Queenstown is Komani now. I believe as well. And-
Official. Because that's kind of been on like the brink for quite a while. I think.
Yeah. I think there's all the Queenstown.
Yeah.
I suppose it's
Yeah.
Queen. Can't really get around that one, can you?
Hey, Jen Schultz.
Yeah, there we go. Oh,
Say love to Sam.
Jen there as well. Jen does
Where are you
social
seeing these
media.
messages?
Hey, on the side there.
Are you
Team
there?
Team Jam. Yeah, we actually played a squash tournament and we had Team Jam on our shirts, and it was like Jen and Sam, and then everyone's like,
There you go.
Team Jam, really? So yeah, that's what it comes from.
Oh, okay, so
yeah,
and
let's-
then after school, did you study? Did you?
I went to Rhodes, East London.
Oh, really?
So it was still Rhodes then.
Did you go because there's got lots of Zoll there?
No,
No,
it's just I think I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and then all my friends were going there, so I was like, yes. And then I did a BCom in psychology. I mean, like I'm not one of those tell me your problems type people, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just obviously your BCom in, and then
Yes.
I was on the drinking team.
The drinking team.
Sorry, Mum. Anyway, kind of failed my first year, and then I went to Damlin, and I did BCom in marketing and business management. And then finished that and actually applied myself.
Was
and
that the
got-
PE Damlin here?
No, it was actually it was East London.
East London.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we had everything there.
Yeah,
just
good
a
there.
small little class,
Sorry, I was
you know.
Well said,
And then-
Sam.
I forgot about
Yeah.
it.
Well said.
And then I think I was waitressing at Buccaneers, you know, as you
Bucks.
do. I know, it was awesome.
Yo.
And then I started working for actually one of my
Fitch.
opposition brands back then,
Oh,
Red Bull.
okay.
And then we did promotions and stuff, and I was always
Okay.
at Numbers, Dance
Yes.
Jam, yeah, it was awesome. And then moved down year 2006.
That
the
was
way out.
the DJ there was Mildenhall.
Darren.
Darren,
Darren, yeah. DJ Loft.
Yes. Is that
Yeah,
called
DJ
Loft?
Lofty.
And of course, Gordon Graham was also
Yes.
another one that was
Yeah,
was
lots of people.
at
The Numbers was iconic. Yes,
I did it. We did a couple of shows there, and it's amazing. Like, I don't even still going.
No.
Is it been?
No, it shut down a good few years ago.
But nothing in there.
No.
At the moment, I think it's just abandoned.
Well, I think it's like a business park now or something.
Abandoned club.
How it's changed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, but I mean, it's literally Numbers was
That
in
was
East
awesome.
London.
No, it was.
Since I don't know 1980 or
Yeah.
something.
So what has been abandoned? Buccaneers or
No,
No,
Numbers.
Buccaneers is still going.
Bucks is still going, yeah.
As far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, Numbers. Numbers was the one that was it went
Yeah,
for
it
so
kind of
long.
it went from like a warehouse vibe, and then it went to the beachfront, and then it went to Beacon Bay, which was the sort of last station.
Are there any more? Are there any clubs in East? There must be.
I don't know.
There must be clubs. Come on, somebody
Bucks
stick
Club.
in the comments. I want to
the
find
Bucks
out.
Club and also Bullions Club.
Yeah.
Oh my soul! Yeah, so I mean, so okay. Then start with obviously with the competition at the moment.
Yes, yeah. So there you go.
And
So
then
then I
you
moved
moved on.
down here, and then
They
I went
headhunt
for.
you.
I went. No.
No,
Did you come down here with the opposition company?
I think my plan was to do that. I actually eventually started working for them, and then it was
Yeah.
an agency. We did a lot of awesome brands, and then moved from there to I think it was Heinz Foods. And then Heinz Foods, I went to Kerrygold's.
Gee,
Like
so
an
you're
Irish dairy
into
board.
suppliers.
Yeah, supply. Yeah, it's always retail based.
Yeah.
You can never get out of retail. Once you're in it, it's kind of like
Yeah.
hooks you. And then from there, I went to Chill Beverages. So I've been there for 5.5 years now.
Just an interesting thing with the retail. I mean, it's all about relationships as
Absolutely.
well. So you build those
Yeah.
with the different spas, big bays, whatever the stories are, the chickens, those things that you get in there and you meet those
Stay.
people. Those
Funny enough, when you go
people.
to Spa Trade Show, and you kind of see the same people, but they're in like different roles or different
Yes.
positions or
Yeah.
different companies, but you always see the same people. It's
Yes.
awesome. It's divine.
Yeah,
Nice.
all
And
around.
every day is a different day, and every day is it's fun.
And so your job at Fitchin is it Chill Beverages?
It's Chill Beverages,
Chill
yeah. So that's a
Beverages,
holding
man.
company. So
Yeah.
we do brands underneath Chill
We
Beverages.
do these
so
things, the Chateau
Chateau
del
Rey,
Rey,
yeah.
Chateau del
Yeah.
Yes, very
Yeah.
nice bit of champagne.
and then Score Energy Drink is also one of our brands.
School. I think we might even have some school.
I think
We've got
Gary's
some-
drinking it. so-
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Rock Shandy, this is my favorite one.
It is
It's
lovely.
very nice.
Yeah.
And so they basically can these things as well,
Yes.
and all these things in
So everything's
in
produced,
Stellenbosch.
filled in Stellenbosch in our factory.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes out and then goes everywhere.
Yeah, and literally nationwide.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there was a time when it was growing so fast.
No, it was.
Especially with the pink and the
Pink
blue
tonic,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, that was a stroke of marketing
No,
genius.
it's awesome.
Yeah, I see. There's another one out at the moment that I see is doing well, and you've seen them in the spas, and that is the rusks. They've got the bakers,
Just
the-
tennis biscuits rusks.
bakers got tennis biscuit, but now they've launched the freaking ginger nuts, and they've got the what's the chocolate one? The
Correct.
Romany cream.
Romany cream.
In a rusk.
They got Romany cream rusks.
And the
I mean,
tennis biscuit.
I can tell
tennis
you
biscuits,
now
they're
that-
addictive. They're dangerous.
Yeah, it's
so
like
good.
drugs, man, and it's amazing because I love them, and Omar Rust and those guys who've had most of the market
Yeah.
must be crapping themselves at the moment,
Sure.
So it's tough,
I
So
haven't seen those yet. Thank
yeah,
goodness.
I know. I think they've taken such a lot of the market share, and in a clever
Very
clever way of doing it. You
Yeah.
know?
It's brands that people know and love, so it's like
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
automatically get to consume it.
Well, this is the
to
thing,
go
it's
buy
like
it. I mean, it's
A
no
Romany
brainer.
cream rusk, like rusks is one thing,
Sure.
So you've got like a Romany cream rusk, and so they know the name Romany cream from something else,
Absolutely.
but they assign it to the rusks now.
Listen, I don't wish to be rude here. Are we talking about?
Let's move on, let's
Oceanos,
move on.
yeah.
Sorry,
I
I've got a
thought
bit
we
of
might have been
ADHD
moving
here.
into another great bakery game.
Yeah.
Biscuits to Schmidt.
No, I just like a clever marketing thing.
Lovely guy.
And then so now you with
Okay,
you with
so
Chill and,
yeah, I was chill and very happy, love it, and yeah.
and
Yes, this
cheers
is
to you
cool.
guys for being with Gino Spot for so long now.
Cheers,
Our longest and most loyal
Well done, Sam.
sponsor.
Well done.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to
And
Gary.
thank you. And so now also you happen to be a survivor of
Yes.
the Oceanos.
I know,
And
it's so strange.
like I said, the Oceanos is certainly. I mean, Fires was the one that came up with this
Yeah.
this thing, and
Well, it's always intrigued me, and the intrigue began,
My dad.
via your dad. I mean, him and I used to go fishing together, and very often drive long distances, and he'd tell me the story. But I know your dad well, and
Yeah.
I got to know him really well in East London, and I know he's a very humble guy, and he doesn't want the accolades and so on. Hence him saying to me, you'd rather speak to Sam. You were there.
No, for sure. And funny enough, I mean, I was 8 years old, which I mean, it's good 33 years ago, so you can do the maths how old I am now. But I remember everything as if it was yesterday.
Really?
But ask me what I did yesterday, I have no idea. But it's absolutely bizarre how I remember everything so vividly and so
And Sam, let's just fast forward to the end of that whole thing. And it's maybe not the right question to ask,
Yeah.
but I'm intrigued by the fact, was there post-traumatic stress?
not from my side, no.
Do you think you were too young to...
I think so. I think I was possibly too young. Thinking about it now, I mean, my mom was probably the age that I am now. I'm thinking I've got two kids.
Yeah.
And for me to be in that situation with my two kids now,
Jeez.
I don't know about that.
well,
And I mean, there was we'll get to the story, but there was like a 4-month-old baby on our lifeboat, and I've got a 4-month-old at the moment. And it's just, I could never imagine being in that situation with my kids right now. Like, it's insane.
I think Philip has already broken into a sweat just listening to you talking. She doesn't like to fly or like to be on a boat either. Yeah, so never mind a sinking ship.
Yeah, I know.
So well, maybe we should go from the start.
Well, what I recall, one of the many stories your dad told me was him and Archie Plum realized at a particular point that there was something wrong with the boat, and I think your dad said they detected a change in the engine pitch, and then they went after that.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Now, they were sitting down trying to have a meal, and the
Oh,
boats
yeah.
went back and forth.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So I said to him the other night, well, where was Sam then? No,
Yeah.
she
We
was
were running around.
So at what stage or at what point did your parents come looking for you?
So maybe let's start
Let's
right.
run.
The early part of the weekend, and indeed the early part of this week, the world's media focused on the tragedy of the Oceanos shipping liner which sank off the Transkei coast.
The Oceanos was first launched in France in 1952, originally named Jean Laborde. After going through many different owners and name changes, she was acquired by Epirotiki Lines of Greece in 1976 and was finally registered under the name Oceanos. She was a 153-metre long luxury liner, 7 decks high, designed to carry 550 passengers and 250 crew. The ship had a large open-deck swimming pool, multiple dining rooms, an onboard casino and a stage for performances. After years of operating out of Greece as a cruise liner, the Oceanos sailed to South Africa to take advantage of the untapped South African market. Few cruise liners operated in the area due to the extremely rough waters and the potential for piracy. The ship was chartered at the time by the South African company TFC Tues. On the 2nd of August 1991, after a week-long cruise, the Oceanos docked at the harbour in East London, South Africa, where a wedding was held on board. Despite wild weather conditions, the bride insisted that the wedding ceremony should take place at sea. An additional 100 passengers were picked up and the ship left the harbour for a short cruise. When the ceremony had been performed, the vessel returned to East London. The Oceanos was hardly the luxury liner that she had once been. In a state of neglect, it had loose hull plates, check valves stripped for repair parts after a recent trip, and a 10-centimetre hole in the watertight bulkhead between the generator and sewage tank. Passengers complained about strange noises and a strong smell of sewage on the lower decks during the previous cruise. Despite being advised on the numerous safety concerns, the ship was declared seaworthy. She was scheduled to set sail on the 3rd of August 1991 at 4 p.m. from East London to Durban. However, her departure was delayed due to the increasingly dangerous weather conditions. Meanwhile, Captain of the Oceanos, Giannis Avranis, was monitoring the weather. Instead of waiting it out overnight, Captain Avranis made the decision to set sail at 5 p.m. The Oceanos then departed on its final voyage from East London with 571 passengers on board.
He wasn't like that captain. The captain of that boat was like, he wasn't a bad captain. He was not only an awful captain, he was an evil captain.
What a hero.
Unbelievable. But let's go from,
Okay, so
from
let's
the start.
start.
Like, how
the Oceanos actually came to East London. So
Yes.
it actually wasn't supposed to dock in East London.
Okay.
So it was going from Cape Town to Durban, and Winston Sard, who had Sard's furniture shop in East London, quite iconic. And he had contacted the travel agency that my mom worked for and said, look, he wants to do something special for his daughter and he wants to take all the guests to Mauritius. And it was going to cost him 250,000 Rand. So at that time, he was like, well, it's a little bit expensive.
Yeah.
So he said, well, isn't there like a cruise line or something coming past East London? So my mom phoned the office and spoke to a lady by the name of Mercy Schultz, who was actually on the boat as well. And they organized, they said, yes, there's this boat coming, the Oceanos, and we'll get it to dock and then you can take your guests out on the wedding. And that's literally how it came to dock in East London. So it's all my mom's fault.
I see that the guy,
Mom.
I see the guy in the dock, he's like, the bride insisted that they go out to sea. I mean, when you're having a wedding on a boat, you don't want to sit in the bloody harbour. I mean, you can't blame the bride here.
So I mean, the wedding happened the Saturday.
Friday night.
Or Friday night or something like that. But so what happened was that morning, I think they had the guests on and they sort of all went out to sea and everything. My dad it was myself, my brother, and his friend Trevor Fink, who actually is funny enough, he lives in PE as well, and he was on the boat with us too. I mean, my brother could bring a friend, so of course he brought a friend. Now, not only have two of your own kids, but someone else's child. So, I mean, can you imagine? Like, I couldn't. Anyway.
Oh, my soul.
So Trevor got we went on the back of the bucky and we drove down to Nahoon Beach. And my dad said, "Oh no, there's the boat that we're going on this weekend." We're like, "Oh, cool." So Trevor said, "Yeah, imagine that thing sinks, eh?" And we laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed, and then of course weren't laughing on the Saturday night, but yeah, I mean, what are the chances?
Yeah,
and then went to school, and then we all knew we were going on boat the next day. I think it was like 50 rand. Your tickets were quite expensive at 125. But
That's what I vaguely remember. I may be wrong.
No, I think my mom said between like 100 and 125. But
very cheap.
Tickets for kids were $50.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that literally got us a boat cruise, a full-on rescue, a flight, a hotel stay, a flight to Joburg, a flight back to East London. It's good. Well worth $50.
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
they wouldn't really anticipate
I mean,
all
if you
of
go $50 for an MSC cruise would be.
Yeah, imagine.
So let's go. Your memory of leaving the actual harbour?
Okay, so my memory was,
horrendous,
so on Saturday, the weather, I promise you, it was terrible. Like, it was 70 knot winds. The rain was not even hitting the floor. It was horizontal. So the rain was literally horizontal, like hitting us on the side of the face. So we got on board. We couldn't even go onto the deck to go and like wave like more, people do and like the movies and stuff like that.
Cheers out of the harbour.
Yeah, and then we sort of got on board. We got into our cabins, and then we were free to kind of do what we wanted. So as kids, we just ran around the boat. I think we went into the casino and we were gambling. I think my mom gave us money for that. It was like chips. I just weird.
Parenting 101.
8 years old. Yes, my mom. I remember going into this one room. It was just full of mirrors. It must have been like a dance studio or something. And we explored that boat like top to tail.
Yeah.
And then it came, so that was I think it was about 5 o'clock because it was obviously delayed out of the harbour. The harbour master, port dude, whatever, still said there's no ways the ship can sail. And of course the captain's like, "Whoppa, give me like a Uzo or something, whatever." And he was like, "Let's go." And so and so they said they never, ever should sail at the window. It was insane.
And you were 8 years old. I mean, clearly no fear. You didn't worry about
even like when we were on the lifeboat and there's like waves washing down my back and stuff, I was like, yeah, we're gonna die. You're like, there's no concept of death at those days. There's no like, it was all an adventure. It was fun. So that's why I said there's no like post-traumatic stress or anything after that. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so you're heading out into the harbour. Because they said the captain shouldn't have left, and he was advised not to leave, but he left anyway.
He left anyway. And funny enough, when I was at Heinz Foods, there was a guy that I worked with from Greece, and he said the rumor in Greece was that it was an insurance claim. So a boat actually, I don't know how long to say that. Right. But a boat actually has a certain amount of years to it. And he said, no, they were convinced that they never should set sail, and it was actually on its last sort of voyage before it got destroyed. And I was like, oh, that's a big statement to make. So I don't know if that's true. Don't quote me on that.
Well, I mean, to put people's lives in perspective.
I think I think it was probably if no one boarded in East London, maybe.
Perhaps they were supposed to go from Cape Town to Durban.
With no one.
The
captain was going to get off first anyway. So.
He's ready to go. The captain's ready to go.
So when it came to, so I think it was like 5, 6 o'clock, whatever. So we out at sea, and then the kids had to go and have supper. So my mom takes us all downstairs, and we go down to the side, and this boat is like listing quite badly. It's like going from side to side. So the chairs are sliding from side to side. My mom was like, "You kids better behave. Stop just pushing your chairs like that." And we were like, "It's not us, Mom." I'm like sliding from side to side. And at that point, Trevor's chair actually just like slid down the dining hall. Anyway, then we were finished there. And so it wasn't as bad then. But then when my parents went down for dinner, it was like a typical scene from Titanic where like the doors open and all cutlery sort of falls out and plates break and glasses were falling out of the cabinets and breaking and stuff. So it was pretty hectic. And I think by then, it was just like a sort of a standard thing that everyone must now go upstairs because, something's about to go wrong. But before that, I'll never forget, we were running up and down the corridors trying to stand up straight. because we couldn't stand up straight. We were like almost leaning from wall to wall.
Yeah.
And one of the crew members ran past and shouted, "Blue whale, blue whale." And I was sort of like, "Oh, there's a whale outside." So it was obviously code word for like ons is in die kak or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
seriously, because why would you shout blue whale? Like
the biggest fish in the ocean.
like it's the biggest whale ever.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
that's a big.
so I do think it was code word or something. And I really, really remember that so clearly. And I
Your
sort of looked at the
blue
guy
whale.
like, why are you shouting blue whale? Anyway.
Groot kak.
You had no fear or no
No,
understanding or idea of what
Yeah.
nothing
of the fact that
whatsoever.
there could have been a problem.
No. I think we were just loving. We were like, yeah, look at me, I'm standing straight. Oh, damn it,
Yeah.
you fall.
But I think like an 8-year-old, you wouldn't you completely trust
No,
everybody
absolutely.
around you. So probably the best position to be on
Yeah.
the boat where everybody else was absolutely shitting
Freaking
themselves.
out. We're like, woohoo.
Yeah.
Did there come a point where one of your mom or dad came to look for you?
I still don't think they came to look for us.
70s parents.
Or did you find them?
I think it
Lord.
was like a standard thing that everyone was then. I think the crew members came up and said, everyone go upstairs to the entertainment area and everyone's going to gather there. And then everyone just kind of went upstairs and we kind of gathered there. Then I think the electricity cut out. But the
They give
entertainment
you your
Not
life
yet.
jacket?
Not
No,
yet.
not yet.
Well, the
Jeez.
entertainment crew they were entertaining people, they were carrying on. Listen, that boat was hectic, eh? Like it was like, it was really, really listening from side to side. There's actually a photograph of and I think my brother, and it's almost like balancing, and you see like the reflection of the back of his shoes, and he's like got his one leg up here, and he's almost balancing to stay straight. Like it was hectic. But they brought life jackets up, but I think the lights were still on at that stage. So they brought life jackets up, and there was a couple sitting in front of me, and the girl was crying her eyes out, and she said, "What's going to happen?" And her boyfriend said, "We're going to have to jump." And I was like, I looked at my mom, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I suppose at that stage, I was like, like swimming and at school swimming. So I was like, if we jump, I can swim. It's fine. You have no concept of what. I mean, there's like 10-meter waves outside crashing against the boat. Like the weather was insane.
Yeah.
So we all get life jackets. Then the electricity goes out. And then at 10 o'clock, they said, right, women and children first.
Wow.
And we were like,
And were you with your folks? At the
yeah.
time?
So now we're with my folks. Yeah. So we're all together. So they said women and children first, and then we had to sort of assemble near sort of the deck area and had to climb onto the lifeboat. But at that stage, like women and children, you don't think like, bye, Dad,
Yeah.
it's just,
You stayed on the boat.
yeah.
Dad's on the boat.
So we just had to get onto this boat, and this thing, the weather was so hectic, the boat kept swinging out and then hitting the deck and swinging out and hitting the deck. So it's almost like when the boat was close, you had to jump into the boat. But at that stage,
So it's on the side of the boat.
And
On
so
the
what's
side
it
of the boat.
about?
I have no idea. Probably, you saw that picture of the Oceanos. I don't know, but I mean, height-wise from our side, I honestly have no idea. Probably 5-6 meters to the ocean, I think.
Yeah.
And
But
how
now
far
the-
did you have to jump though to get into the boat?
Oh, it was every
that
time the
was
boat
just-
came close,
okay,
we
so
would
it's right
then
there.
get in.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
team was losing the race against time. When they realized that they could not haul all remaining survivors up into the choppers in time, rescuers managed to launch one of the remaining lifeboats into the ocean. Those remaining had no choice but to jump.
So it's so scary, man.
But no,
to have your
listen.
kids on,
No,
and then
exactly.
somebody else's child
I know.
with you.
I know.
Good Lord.
So women and children go first, and then half the crew members were on our boat already.
Were there a lot of kids?
Yeah, not a lot, but I mean there were quite an amount.
A boat full at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the lifeboat sort of had 3 levels, and then it was
yeah.
like people on each level.
Wow.
But we got there, and the crew members were on our boat. So the crew firstly the captain was first to get off. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yes.
The captain was first to get off, apparently,
Yeah,
and then the
right.
crew members were like, "We out of here." So they got onto the women and children boat, and then so we get onto the boat, and now we almost have to jump off the deck and then get into the boat. And we're now being lifted down the side. So the boat's sort of attached by 2 sort of hooks. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah.
And as we said, the waves were so hectic, it kept washing the boat up and sort of bringing it back. And the one dislodged and the other one didn't. So now we're hanging. So the boat's like hanging like this. So here's the lifeboat type of thing. And this hook that was free, I mean, the wind was hectic and it swung and there was a lady by the age, she was 86 years old, the oldest lady on the Oceanos, and it hits her in the head. She's on a boat. So, I mean, we thought we were having a crap down. She really had a crap down, you know? So it hits her on the head, and then, I mean, everyone was obviously trying to get this thing loose. So every time the waves sort of washed up again, they were trying to take this hook out, and eventually we got it out. But now we're trying to push ourselves away from the vessel.
No, who's doing this? Who's trying to do this?
The crew members. So we had oars.
So they get a bit of...
we got a bit of help from them. And we're trying to push ourselves away from the vessel. And I mean, this boat is just hitting against the Oceanos. And I mean, you see like sort of pieces of wood of the boat chipping off, and it was insane. So after probably about a good 45 minutes, I reckon. So on the side of the Oceanos, if you go to one of those videos, there's almost like a white metal, I don't know what it was used for, but we kept hitting into that part as well. So as you're drifting down the boat, we're hitting into the boat, then we started hitting into this metal piece. No, then eventually we got away. So you see the boat sort of there, and we like in the ocean, like the deep, deep ocean.
And are you scared now?
I still don't think I was. I don't know.
And you're just bobbing along in the ocean?
Yeah, it was like an adventure. I don't think I ever was like terrified. My mother must have been stressing completely.
And they were still on board?
No. So my mom was on the boat with us. So women and children were on this, but my dad was still on the boat. Yeah.
And did the lifeboat have a motor?
No, it had these little oars, like you had to go backwards and forwards, and then it would,
And
the crew were managing that, but just they were useless. Apparently, they had like a roof over our head, but we only found that the next morning. We didn't find that during the night.
So, sorry, just to recap then. So, is this about 10 o'clock now?
Yes, so 10 o'clock in the water.
At night.
Yeah.
Dark.
Middle, deep, dark
massive
ocean.
swell.
Massive swell. My mom was saying she kept... I remember at one point, so before we break away from those Oceanos, we eventually break away from the vessel, and then we get sucked into the propellers at the back. And every time the boat sort of did this, the propellers turned. So it was almost like sucking us in with like a vacuum type of, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Eventually we got away. Now we're drifting at sea. And I mean, at sea, and everyone's, we couldn't, I think the flares that we had didn't work or something like that.
No lights.
Nothing. So so I kept falling asleep, and I dreamed that I was in my bed with my electric blanket, and then I'd wake, and then like water would rush down my back, and I'd like wake up in the middle of the ocean. And then my mom said every time I said to her, I can't sleep, can I take my life jacket off? And she looked up, and this wave was like cresting over the boat like that. She's like, just keep it on a little bit longer, my darling. So I was like, oh, Mom, okay, fine.
Man.
And so kept it on. Yeah, I know, it kept it on a little bit longer. And then she kept saying, like, she saw fins, but she's like, it's just dolphins, it's dolphins, it's dolphins. I mean, the middle of Coffee Bay, which is like Shark Hub,
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, so.
Was the moon out or?
No, it was terrible. The weather was terrible.
Just overcast.
Yeah. Then I remember we tried to get picked up by, so at that stage, obviously the SOS has gone out, and all the ships around started coming in to get survivors, basically. Okay. And I remember going up to, like, there was this one ship that we were coming close to. I was like, oh, it's land. And I was like, oh, let's just jump out and swim. Yeah. Because I honestly, it looked like a merry-go-round. It looked awesome. I was like, but there's land. And Mom was like, no, Sam, it's a ship. I was like, oh. There's still no concept. And then...
Because you think you just swim across to the ship.
I just swim across quickly.
It's like another 7 stories. 7 stories up, eh?
Well, there was a story, if you remember. The casino manager was found by chance, and Neville might know the story. A Dakota had to do a wide berth to allow the helicopters in.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it was obviously the Dakota was low over the water, and they saw the casino, or this guy in the water, drifting. Now you get the counter current. You got the westerly wind blowing up that way.
Yeah.
But you got this massive current coming this way. That's why the lifeboat. A lot of things were found, I mean, as far as Mossel Bay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you get that terrible counter current, and I think that's what adds to the swell issue.
Okay.
But he was a casino manager, and he had strapped all this money. And he was heading south.
My soul.
Had it not been for the fact that the Dakota had to take this white berth, they would never have seen him.
You might have been sitting there like a skeleton with like $1 million bucks.
He loaded up and jumped ship.
I heard about that, actually. Yeah, you're right.
He was a casino manager.
That is ridiculous.
So how long were you on the actual?
So we were drifting at sea for 8 hours. So yeah, at 8 o'clock the next morning, there was a Polish oil tanker that basically came past us and then started helping us. But there was a rope ladder.
Sleeping and the adults. I mean, when you were speaking to your mom and dad, they must have been awake the whole night.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I tried to. I want to take my life jacket off.
Yeah.
But no, listen, people getting seasick. And I did, like, talking spoke about Mercy Schultz earlier, and my mom said, don't say that, Sam. But she was she was next to me on the lifeboat, so we were on the sort of top level, and her 4-month-old baby was in her arms, and I was just vomiting. Terrible. And funny enough, it's actually something that up until about 10 years ago, whenever the weather got, it's really gross fact, but whenever the weather got clammy or like wet and Oceanos weather, and my hands got clammy, my hands would smell like the vomit in the Oceanos. Super weird. Only I could smell it, obviously.
Yes.
But it was the most random, up until about 10 years ago. I'd be like, really? And I just bring back like it's super, super weird. Anyway.
Have you any idea where exactly you were picked up by the Polish oil tanker?
I have no idea, actually.
How do you get picked up by a police?
So I'll tell you how.
What the hell, man?
They had a wooden sort of a wooden ladder, or like a rope ladder that they threw down.
Okay.
And a lot of people try to climb that, but there was, I don't know if one guy was on it or what happened, but one guy was climbing up and somebody said, lift your legs, and lifted his legs. And as the lifeboat came and hit against the wall, the whole rope ladder got chopped off. Like with that much force in terms of like what
was it still in the dark?
No, this was now daylight. And then what happened was they had a crab net.
Okay.
So they literally had this big crab net and they threw it overboard, and then they would pile people in and hoist us up, and then obviously we got there and they put blankets over us and everything. And my mom was helping everyone off the boat, and she was the last person to get off the lifeboat. When she got off, they hoisted her up, and by that stage she was ankle deep in water on top, on the top level of the lifeboat.
So the lifeboat was sinking.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
Oh no!
Obviously, I mean, you've got water like coming in the whole night. Obviously, you would think. But I mean, we were none the wiser. And when she got up at the top level, they put a blanket over, and she looked over, and the lifeboat sank. The lifeboat sank.
Holy crap! Well, I suppose you guys are bailing as well while you.
So the more people that were not there, obviously, it was just filling up.
Bail off.
Now, what is the story about you and the fire bucket?
No. So the bucket, apparently, there was 2 ships. There was the Polish oil tanker, and then there was another cruise ship, the Great Nancy. And the Great Nancy apparently was helping people. So we had a crab net, they had a fire bucket.
So they
So people, they were hoisting a bucket down and then lifting people up and putting them onto
and the lady with the 4-month-old baby, did she go in the crab net?
Yes, she was in the crab net.
Whoa.
This is an absolute
crazy.
No, and everyone survived.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that stage, now we're all on the Polish oil tanker, and then my mom didn't know where we were because we were all hoisted up first and then just put into rooms.
Yeah.
And then she had to run around the ship sort of trying to find children. So my brother and Trevor were together, and then I was in the room with the 86-year-old, funny enough. And then she found me, and that's then
I think while we're at this particular point,
I think Nev needs to come in.
The man who saved them all.
Yeah, and I think we can have a look at some comments just quickly. I don't know if there are any comments there as well. Let's have a quick look before Neville comes on. I see Brian Siro at Fire's nice show. Thank you, Brian. They come in. And I see your folks are Kerry Hiles says your folks are such legends, calm, courageous.
No, what he's so chilled. See behind the scenes, Kerry.
Oh my soul. Kerry Hiles, the most hardworking.
Yes, it was my dad. Sorry, Dad.
Archie shouted
so my dad was climbing up the ladder, and Archie shouted, "Climb, lift your legs," and then
you could have had no legs. Sheesh, like man. Hell's bills. Okay, so
I think we got the Navy diver at this.
The Navy diver who Neville was one of the rescuers, basically. I think.
This is going to be an interesting
How's it, Nev?
Hello, Nev.
Hello.
Sorry we were a bit late.
Can you hear us?
Hello, everybody. How's it?
Nev, good to hear you.
Oh,
nice to see you, Nev.
Me?
I
can. We can hear you.
And so you're in East London,
great to see you people. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any. Yes, and I don't have anything to drink. Seeing you guys are drinking everything.
Oh, man.
Phone Mountie to bring you some beer. Glad to see you got your
Yeah,
goggles
he's
on.
about 3 doors down.
Yeah.
Yeah, take him off.
Mountie, there's some beers there, please.
Yeah. So,
Maybe it's great to see you. How are you?
I'm on top
Can
of the
you hear us,
world, and
Neil?
you?
Very good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I
Neil.
can hear you.
That
Can
looks-
you hear me?
That looks fantastic.
100%.
There you look at
Great to hear these stories.
Yes.
Now, Nev, tell us where.
Brings back
tell us
memories.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah.
good memories or bad memories, Nev?
Well, you know, I think it's good memories that nobody perished, but bad memories about the sea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sea was terrible.
And Nev, now tell me, when did you get the call
You know,
to, I would imagine, to be on alert check?
well, you know, the Navy base, the divers were always on standby at the Navy base, the East London divers.
Yeah.
We were all citizen force, and in those days there was nobody doing body jobs or any rescues like this. The Navy divers would be called in, so it was quite a thing for us. And we got a call, I think it must have been around about 4:30 in the morning. And they started phoning the divers and saying, guys, you got to be down at the base as quick as possible because the Oceana was sinking. You know, when you get a call early in the morning like that and somebody says the Oceana is sinking, you need to get down, it goes through your mind, is it real or isn't it real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all got down to the base and started getting our kit out. We all were in our wetsuits, and we had to take our fins with us as well.
Yeah.
So when we got down to the base, we started getting all our stuff together, and then the helicopters were coming in from. I think the first wave came in from PE, and then the second wave came in from Cape Town. So the first
Those are
wave
the
of
big
helicopters
choppers, yeah?
went past us. The second wave, sorry?
Those were the big choppers,
Was
eh?
that Pumas?
Yeah, they were all Pumas. They were not Alouettes.
Yeah.
All were Pumas. And then so we were rushed to the airport, and they picked us up there. I don't know. There was quite a few of us. I would say about 15 of us. And then flew us straight in. When we got there, it was a light already. And as Sam told you, the captain was already off the boat. He was in the hotel.
Yeah.
At the Haven.
Jeez, terrible. Man.
So the guy, you know, the Navy divers did a lot, but the real hero of this whole exercise were those helicopter pilots.
Yeah.
Because imagine, you saw in some of those photographs, they hoisted the guys up. And if they came into the boat with it rocking and rolling, if that line attached itself to the boat by accident, it would have pulled that helicopter out of the sky.
Yeah.
So they would only come in for a couple of seconds to attach a Navy diver and a survivor to the hoist, and then hoist them back into the helicopter. And that's how it was done, the whole thing. So there's quite a bit of a story to this. When we got there, I've surfed all my life. I'd never seen such big waves in my life. We couldn't actually see the coastline. That's how big the waves were. And the one side of the boat where it was listed 45, the one side you had no waves on. The other side there were giant waves coming along the boat. And everybody was like slid on the deck to the railings because the boat was listed now at 45. So the helicopters were coming in, picking the people up with a Navy diver, picking a survivor up, and then hoisting them into the helicopter.
Yeah.
There were some of the guys that were on rubber ducks that were helping people into rubber ducks that also were hoisted from the rubber ducks back up into the helicopters. And then the helicopter, as soon as it was full, it would fly to the haven, offload the guys, and off we went back again to the boat. So it was,
So
they were
what a
duck
thing.
Yeah, just a quick again.
Nev, sorry, were the rubber ducks obviously brought along on the helicopters?
No, the rubber ducks came. Actually, the rubber ducks came from the Oceano. They were beautiful rubber ducks. We actually wanted to drive them back, but the pilot didn't want to go back and get on. We were stressed. We really wanted to go back and get a rubber duck that was brand new. but he wouldn't allow us. But there were some funny stories. You know. Maybe I shouldn't say this because we're on air, but I mean there were guys there with not with their wives, if you want to say that.
Yeah, Nev, we're going to steer clear of those stories.
Where were you, Nev? On the boat, on the Oceanos, in the helicopter, or in the water?
No, I was in the helicopter. I used to go down on a cable, pick the guys up. Now, when you go down, because you start spinning, you put your arms out. And then you catch them, and you put them in like a baby next to you, and then they pull you back up. Yeah. Now, there were two stories I'll never forget. There was a gentleman with a camera, and he wouldn't let his camera go. We told him to let it go so we can hitch him up. And so he never let the camera go. So his arm was in the sling.
Yeah.
And the helicopter pilot or the co-pilot was starting to bring us up.
Yeah.
And this guy decided, it's getting too high. And he let go.
No ways.
And he did. We said he did about 3 somersaults and hit the water. Whap. And then the chopper pilot, once he picked us up, he came in low, and then some of the divers jumped in and saved this guy, put him in the sling, and put him onto the helicopter. But it was remarkable.
Rescued him, right? Because I mean, once you're alone in that ocean, there, you're like a speck in a a needle in a haystack. You'll never find that guy again if he drifts too far. And you've only got seconds, really, a minute.
Did he hold on to his camera?
No.
Who's asking?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember that. All I remember is getting him into the sling.
Yeah.
But as Mike said, we found the casino manager. I think he was a casino manager under correction, floating in the ocean. We were so lucky to spot a guy like that in that ocean. Is like finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
So we picked him up as well. But before I get there, then we had a lovely lady. All she had on was a T-shirt and a G-string. Now you can imagine her when she arrives in the helicopter. Everybody wants to help her into the helicopter. This was a joke and a half.
Especially you there.
It was the 70s after all.
Yeah. So there were things that we could still laugh about.
Yeah.
But there was also the serious side of it. So we hoisted the last survivor off the boat. And we did a circle with the helicopter. And as I said, the boat was at 45. There were quite a bit of chairs and that floating. The boat was at 45. We did the circle. We picked up this manager that was floating. And when we came back, the boat was gone.
Wow.
That's how quick it was.
And then if you
And you
recall,
could just
how
see
far
the floating, all that was left was the floating chairs.
Yes.
Jeez.
Now that boat, if I'm incorrect, it's off Lumpur Point.
Correct.
And it's
Balmy.
in about between 190 and 110 meters of water.
Ah.
Now, there were some divers that dived on it, like Pete Sachs and them. And when you dive at that depth, you can't dive with normal oxygen. You have to have mixtures. So they did and there was a big thing on it. They did a story on it for TV, and they dived on it. And they said when they went down for the first 40 meters, you couldn't see anything. It was like clouds. And then as they came through, it was clear as day. They could see the boat, and they could see the ropes coming up from the boat.
Yeah.
So this was quite a thing. It was on SABC
I recall
as a documentary.
It was called Looking for Sam Mountain Slipper.
Yes.
My lip eyes. I was so bummed I lost my lip eyes. Yes.
So,
but I remember that they were saying, they were saying that it was actually quite dangerous to dive that wreck because of all the ropes and everything around it. So, like, they didn't really recommend that people do it. Yeah, I remember that.
No, Nev, sorry,
not
just
only that, it was in the current.
The currents, okay.
The current.
Okay.
That current, am I right in saying that you get that counter current there?
Yes. That current runs. Sometimes, if you guys go deep sea fishing, they know about currents out there. And the current is really, really going at a speed. So the guys all dived when they dived, I believe, when they dived onto it, they had to dive onto it like a shot rope, go down a shot rope.
Yes.
To get to the bottom.
Yeah. I see.
But Pete Sachs,
real life heroes.
He could tell you the whole story about that.
Yeah, it's like and we're talking about the musicians and the entertainers on board having to take most of the heat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's natural for an entertainer to try and the show must go on. It's like, okay, well, just calm people down, get them. But gee whiz, when you get to a point, it must have been what was the guy's name? Moss, eh?
Yes, Terry Moss.
Yeah.
No,
Neil.
No.
Moss Hills.
Yeah, Moss Hills. Moss Hills.
Tracy and then Robin Boltman.
Yes.
Moss
Did you have
Hills
any
and
contact
Tracy
with them,
Hills.
Nev?
No, I haven't. But I can also tell you there was a woman that we hoisted into the helicopter, and when she got into the helicopter, she just burst out crying. We couldn't even stop her. She just sobbed her heart out.
I can imagine. I mean,
and then we had one gentleman when we dropped him off at the Haven, when he got out the helicopter, he just fell on his knees and kissed the earth.
Yeah.
So there were quite, I think it must have affected a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, we asked Sam earlier, I mean, there must have been a massive amount of post-traumatic stress here. But, what maybe a lot of people don't know is that you guys took 200 people off that boat. The lifeboats,
there were 513 passengers. Yeah.
But
500 people, more
and
than
everyone
571. Everyone.
Yeah.
These guys, Nev and Co, took 200 off that boat.
Yeah.
When the boat was sitting at an angle like that, 45 degrees, as you say, Nev. But, Nev, I recall hearing a story, and I mean, it's many years ago, but I heard a story that you were actually in the water at some stage.
Yeah, at one stage I was in the water. But, you train as a Navy diver. That's what you do, But you have your fins on, which is something that helps you a hang of a lot.
But in a 10-meter swell, Nev, how are you going to hold?
No, you know, you bob. You know, you bob. You definitely, you know, it's like a washing machine. But you know, if you've been a man of the sea, you know what to do. You know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And that's what the
reminded me
Navy
of-
divers are there for.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what reminded me of this. On one of the videos I watched in the build-up to this evening, you could see the little Navy divers, the little black heads there bobbing around the ship.
Yeah.
When the thing was sitting like this with that massive amount of white water around the boat,
Crazy.
right towards the end there, before it went down, you could see the divers in the water. And I can't remember who told me, but I remember.
And it wasn't only us. There were some Cape Town divers as well that came up.
Okay.
So the force was there. There was enough people there.
Gary's got a video here, Nev, of
let me tell you,
rescues. We can have a quick squiz.
Just when all hope seemed lost, they heard the sound of helicopter blades beating the air above them. They looked up to see a Navy helicopter hovering above the deck of the ship. The helicopter could not land on the vessel, so Navy diver Paul Wiley began lowering down from the chopper on a harness. The weather was so rough that Paul was being thrashed about, so Moss found some rope, tied it around his waist and some railing, grabbed Paul as he came down, essentially turning himself into an anchor. Two choppers worked from the front and the back of the ship, hauling 20 passengers at a time via a harness, flying them 5 kilometers to shore, unloading them and refueling before returning to the ship for more. While the rescue operation seemed to be going quite well in the circumstances, a man dressed in white approached Navy diver Paul. A man who, in an attempt to cut in front of women and children, was demanding to be taken next. He grabbed a harness while no one was looking, strapped himself in, and was carried to safety. Paul would later discover that that man was captain of the Oceanos. The Navy divers employed a couple able-bodied hands to assist, including Moss, and gave them an extremely quick crash course on how to conduct the lift. The exhausted assistants, with an enormous new responsibility, accidentally sent some passengers slamming into the hull of the ship as they screamed. It was utter chaos. One man lost his grip and fell more than 200 feet from the harness into the sea.
Jeez, like
I
insane.
think that's the camera guy that lost his grip. Meanwhile.
No. But I mean, the captain. Did you know that Paul Wiley then as well? In Nev.
Sorry, you can see by the photographs. There's that guy that's on the boat. That's
Yes.
with that. That's holding onto the rope. He's a Navy diver. So they put a Navy diver onto the boat to help the people get into the slings.
Yes.
So,
yes.
you know, they did a lot there. But I'm going to say again, the hero of this whole exercise, besides the Navy divers, were the chopper pilots. Without them, this rescue would never have taken place. So, you know, nowadays, I don't think we even got a helicopter that flies anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was just saying now, imagine if it had to happen in this day and age. I don't think we'd get the call through to say, like, we need help.
There'd certainly be a test anyway. It would be you know, it's like, and also the captain did a sterling job.
Yeah. Great job.
Of coordinating things.
Yeah.
While the rescue operation conducted by the entertainers was underway, cruise director Lorraine spotted Captain Avranis. He was found trying to sneak into a lifeboat with his dog. Lorraine and other crew members grabbed him by the life jacket and yanked him back on board. The captain was caught twice more by crew attempting to hop into other lifeboats until he was dragged to the back deck, where he clung to a railing near the pool deck.
So he literally tried to escape a few times. This captain wasn't a bad captain. He wasn't an awful captain. He was like an evil captain.
Nev, just as a matter of interest,
You're right.
how many hours were you there for? Were you there until the ship sank?
The ship sank, I think, 1 o'clock the next day.
Yes.
1 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We only got back to the base, when we got back, I think it was around about 4 o'clock in the afternoon when we got back to East London.
So you didn't go to have a beer there
And then,
at
of course,
the Haven?
no, the Navy divers don't drink beers. Navy divers drink
Captain Morgan.
She's a never.
Yeah, so I mean, the captain was obviously like he sounded like he was trying to escape all the time. Did you ever meet the captain?
No.
Shit, amazing.
What happened to him? Did he eventually get called on this? Did he get?
No, he did.
Jailed?
Didn't he commit suicide or something?
No, he retired.
I think that sounds like urban legend.
Probably.
Yeah.
But he was actually exonerated by the Greeks.
Oh, wow.
Whatever.
I don't know. If anybody knows, put it in the comments. I don't quite know what happened to the captain. Gary's going to Google it to see what actually happened to him. And Nev, so did you carry on? Were you always in the Navy? You said it was a citizen force, so it was basically volunteers, or were you PFs or at that stage, or what?
No, well, it's a long story. I was a paratrooper first, the same as Peter Fowles. And then they were looking for Navy divers, so we did the divers.
Okay.
So we did the divers course. And the only reason why I went to volunteer to do the divers course, because I had spent 5 Christmases in a row on the border. And I had enough. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a couple of us that are ex-paratroopers that are Navy divers as well. Okay. So it's quite a thing.
You had that experience then, at least of
we did our military training as paratroopers.
Uh-huh.
And then we became Navy divers.
Okay.
And Nev, just whilst on that subject, did you see a lot of action in your time as a paratrooper come Navy diver, other than the Oceanos issue? Hello, here we go.
Yeah, Mark.
I don't know if he's allowed to say anything.
No, you clearly didn't.
Well, we've spent 40 out of the 2 years, not continuously, but spent 14 months on the border, and we were involved in that very deep operation called Kasinga, 450 kilometers into Angola. So,
I always knew you were a great guy to go out with on East London. Check the size of those arms. There was never any cut.
I see that Gary's done some research there. It says he was never incarcerated, and his company gave him command of a ferry until his retirement. What? So he's still got a job. He's like,
that was definitely man.
You're talking about the captain here.
Yeah, the captain.
You're on your onus. On your onus.
They found them negligent, but they just got a little tap on the wrist.
Yeah.
He did get a jail sentence.
What does Mountie say there?
Another ship.
Oh, he did get a jail sentence.
Why would you go and captain another ship? What an idiot. God, that's about the border stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
talk about stuff.
Let's not talk about border stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I think we got one more of the sinking, one more little video of the sinking here, Neville. Let's have a
Finally, after all remaining passengers were rescued, the remaining crew, helping hands, and the entertainers left the ship as the Oceanus was on the brink of completely sinking. Shortly afterwards, the Oceanus dramatically began its vertical descent, sliding nose first to the bottom of the sea.
ropes I assume are from the lifeboats. Eh?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that would have been from the lifeboats there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it went down quite quick.
Nev?
Well, I would say it went down very quick. As I said to you, we did a circle that was there when we started. When it came back, it was gone.
Yeah. And I've got in a long-term memory.
I must be honest with you. We never saw that. But
Okay.
when we
Hey,
left,
my
it
mom
was still
saw
at
that.
45. Yeah. When we came back, it was gone.
And Nev, just a couple of things here. Do you recall, were there a lot of freighters or other ships in the area?
Mark, I must be honest with you. We didn't take notice. I think I didn't definitely take notice. I think we were concentrating more on the Oceana than looking around to see what else was in the vicinity. You know,
Yeah.
I just remember we could see the coastline, and we couldn't actually see the coastline because of how big the waves were.
Yes.
That is still in my mind.
Well, do you remember, Nev, the captain, your major, actually wanted to, at one stage, it was thought that he wanted to actually ram the boat into the cliffs.
What?
Do you recall that story? He thought it might be easier to rescue
No.
the passengers if he grounded it.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember something like
once
that.
we had done our jobs, we came back to the base, and we didn't really get involved with the politics and all of that kind of stuff. We had done our mission, and we came back home.
Yeah.
Or rescue, whatever you want to call it.
Do you remember the Monday, Nev? Do you remember the Monday? How big the swell was in East London? You were surfing, man.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest swell I've ever seen.
Let me tell you, that weekend, that the surf was huge. It was huge. And the break, I don't even know how the boat went out the harbour, because, in East London, you got the break wall.
Yes.
And you get that wave coming off the point of the break wall. It was huge. I don't even know how it went out.
No, I should never have said so.
Yeah, he shouldn't have gone. He shouldn't have set sail in the first place. Yeah, with a ship that wasn't in great condition in the first place.
I mean, when everyone said what was the sort of cause of it sinking, and I'd heard that they forgot the sewage pipes on, and that's why the ship started flooding.
Yeah.
But like in the beginning of the video, you heard there was a 10-centimeter hole in the bulkhead of the ship.
Yeah.
And that obviously was, considered the sewage pipes not being put on. So, the ship started flooding.
It had been robbed of some parts as well for previous other repairs. It's crazy. And like I said, that captain didn't seem to give a crap.
No.
Like, he really, I don't think he would have even thought of ramming the ship, because that would have saved people. He was trying to get off
coastline. It might have been more dangerous to ram that ship.
Trying to get off as soon as he could.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Great guy.
I don't know if there's any other comments there, Gary, but we got Kasinga was 78. There we go. George Dale says, how's it? George Dale was there as well, Nev.
Yeah, so how's it?
Kasinga.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, there were I think there was around about 450 paratroopers. They were all paratroopers that went in.
Gee whiz. And I see Mark Scott there saying Scotty and Janet survived thanks to all the role players in the boat and the SADF. Well, SADF. It was SADF at that time. You're right. Yeah. And I see. So were there any injuries that you knew about?
No, it was only that the old lady that got hit by the hook.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think I'm right in saying it's regarded as the most miraculous
rescue
in the history of maritime disasters.
It is, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, to think 571
actually,
people.
Mark, we were speaking the other night. They use the Oceana as an example in nowadays on the boats. Somebody's telling me about the drills and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Because it was a
Yeah.
miracle. It was a miracle.
Yeah.
No, it was.
Very good.
But the weather that was served that day was just like I don't know. I don't know how everyone survived. It was really, really a miracle.
And I think it's probably a reason why
You can see
they
by the
always
sea.
hire many musicians on the boats. They hire the musicians because in case.
Did you hear the musicians comment?
Gino, you would do well on the boat.
I think so. I think so, Leo. I think I'll be all right. I've got the hat. I'm all right, man. Oh, Neville, thank you, man.
Just before
I
you
don't
go.
know if you've got any. Yeah.
Sorry, just before you go, are you still involved with Surfing South Africa, Nev?
No, I'm not. Not anymore, but I'm involved with the Discovery Surface Challenge, which is a run along the beach for 7.5 kilometers. And next year it'll be its 50th year that the race has been run.
Yes.
It's big here in East London.
No, we know
Yankees
you've done
run
a
it
great
quite
job
a few
there,
times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, you've done a great job there, Nev. Listen, when I come to East London, I'm going to look you up, eh? We'll get the game together.
Yes, thank you, Neville. Thank you for coming
Yeah,
on.
well,
And
I want
thank
to
you
have
for
a
your
game of golf
time.
with you.
I beg yours?
Thank you. We'll see you, Gino.
Yeah, lekker, man. We'll see you again. And it's lovely to hear your Albany accent coming through. It's loud and clear. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Big Nev.
Thanks, Bud.
Thank you so much. Cheers, Nev.
So then there's a story after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so once everyone's now rescued and we're all on the boat and we're on so we were on the Polish tanker and then there was the Great Nancy. So my dad had been rescued in the boat, but we didn't know, there's no cell phones and stuff back in the day. So my mom had found everyone and apparently my hair was like a lion's mane. So I just had this like salt whatever and
I'll send Gary the picture.
And that one, yeah. So, and my mom said she asked someone for a brush, and she was like, and she had the brush, she was busy brushing my hair. Next thing there was like a queue of people, like waiting because people had nothing. I mean, we literally had the clothes on our back, and that was it. And like waiting in a queue for like people to brush their hair because there was nothing. And then, so from there, the Polish tanker took us to Durban Harbour. And then there were just photographers and everyone all around. So what had happened during the night is that my dad had my mom's high heel shoes in his pocket. And when he climbed with that ladder, the one high heel shoe fell into the ocean. So he only had one shoe. But now he didn't know if we were like alive or not.
Yeah.
So he got off and the Great Nancy, I think, docked before we did. So he got off and there was this photograph and I think I sent it to you that I've got like a memorabilia thing, which Trevor Fink actually, who was on the boat with us, he's got a framing business in Perigeville. He did the whole frame for me. So I've got the life jacket and I've got our cabin key and I've got like a few of the newspaper articles and stuff like that hanging in my bar. And there's a picture of my dad with this like shoe, very serious. And it says, like, the next day it was on the front page, it said, Mr. Clyde Mountfort, not knowing if his wife and children are, like, if they're dead or alive type of thing. Yeah. And then we pulled up in a bus, and then that's the first time we actually saw my dad. Okay. So, I mean, it had been, like, almost 24 hours.
Your mom must have been...
Yeah.
Must have been...
But while we were on the Polish tanker, funny enough, so... we were all sitting in the room, and I told the crew that I'm hungry, so I've got this full chicken and this massive, like, cup of tea and whatever. And then they came through and they started tying all the chairs and tables together. And we were like, what's going on? They said, no, there's a bit of rough seas expected. We were like, ugh. No. We've just been through this. And I think we didn't feel, I think I fell asleep.
They obviously spoke English.
Very, very broken English, I'm sure.
Okay.
But they just kept giving us chocolates. I remember
how was the trip? I mean, was it a rough trip?
I think I slept because I don't really remember that. I remember sort of arriving in Durban Harbour and then we got into a bus and we all got to sort of a central location where all the survivors were then taken.
It was an oil tanker or
it was a Polish oil tanker that we were rescued on.
So
the Kazubi 2 was its name.
What was it called?
Kazubi 2.
Kazubi 2.
Kazubi 2.
Find a picture of that. Kazubi 2. What's that? He's got some...
I have no idea. Kazubi, Kazu.
Kazubi. I don't know.
And then-
I'm always going to find there if
Yeah,
you
I
Google go zombies.
So there was the Zubi 2 and the Great Nancy, which rescued, I think, most of the survivors. Anyway, so when we had got, and my dad had his picture taken, and the photographer actually got arrested because you weren't allowed to like harass the survivors.
Oh, word.
So there's my dad, like my mom's one shoe, and then we pulled up, and then that's when we reunited. And yeah.
Gee, well, let's have a look at some of the pictures here. He's got
That's
one of the.
So that's the lifeboat that's actually in the East London Museum, and that's the boat. So there's those little oar things that I was telling you about. So this little sort of handle thing. So that's like a steering mechanism. I don't know what it did, but anyway.
Okay.
And that's the boat that my dad was actually on.
Oh, okay.
So that one washed up, I think, in Mossel Bay or something like that.
Okay, but he got off that onto the other ship.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that washed up, and then they've got that at the East London Museum.
What else you got there, Gary? That was it. Okay.
I sent you one as well of Sam as an 8-year-old.
Oh, we were reunited as a family, I think.
So you were back in Durban, I take it, on the Monday. Or was it the Tuesday?
Yeah, I think it was the Monday.
Okay,
yeah, I think it was the Monday.
Then
so then from there, then SAA sponsored all the passengers' flights back home. So then we went from Durban, flew to Joburg, and then Joburg back to East London. And when we got to East London, let me tell you, the crowds, there was just like placards and welcome homes and survivors, and it was
Jeez, because it was huge news.
No, it was massive.
And
it was massive.
I would just say, I remember the TV footage of that, because it was all televised as well, which is also another thing.
So it's a shame, man. My domestic at the time, so she had keys to go into the house, but we went home at Monday on the Monday. So I think it was my godmother, Jill Duncan, or my gran or someone. That's my mom. I don't know how to communicate, but there's no cell phone, so it's not phone from a ticky box. And said, just go to the house and, see if she's okay. And then they said, no, this had happened. And she turned on the news, and there was just this boat sinking. So that's all she saw. So she's going, you saw. She means lift up, And she was beside herself because she was,
shame.
I imagine going back to school.
Oh, listen, I was so proud. I still tapped my teacher on the shoulder, I think the Wednesday. I was so excited to go to school. And because you're like 8 years old and you love school, And then I went and my teacher was busy writing up the kids, and I tapped, I was like, it was Debbie Diesel at Stirling.
Oh, right.
And I was like, Mrs. Diesel, it's too much. She went, and she knew what to say. She was like, I was so a big grin on my face.
Look at that. Oh, my
word. Goodness me. Mom said my hair was wild. I think she had brushed it by then, because I'm sure it was way wilder than that was. So this is the article or the thing that I've got in my bar.
Yeah. So you kept all that memory. I mean, it's such a part of your life as well. Good Lord.
No, absolutely. Listen, it makes for an awesome
There you go. Robin Boltman, the famous magician at the Holiday Inn, he said a great trick. Where did you hide the ship? Yeah. It was just like, we were talking about the parrot. I was Danny Fisher. Danny Fisher. I didn't even see that.
What a legend.
Danny Fisher from the Blarney Brothers and various other amazing Elvis as well. Danny's in fact, Danny Fisher, he got his name from Elvis. Danny Fisher was Elvis's name.
Oh, my dad's saying there. But that says the headline read, the only connection he has with his wife was by the shoe. Like
the only connection he has with
Cinderella.
The shoe, Cinderella.
So that's the only connection. He didn't know if we were allowed or not. So it's pretty hectic.
Well, was it Neville? Is it?
Oh, yeah.
What was Neville Wilkins? Yes, it is. You're not thinking of Neville Williamson as well, which also a magician, a comedian. But yes, absolutely, Neville Wilkins. And that I remember the chairs floating around and the thing. So it was news across the country, and an amazing rescue.
Also, like people, I mean, we holiday in Morgan Bay quite often, and speaking to some families there who, like I think the Rance family has like a timber company or something, and they also went and they got in their choppers. Everyone just went to go help. Like everyone that could went to go help. It was insane.
No, it's good.
It was very good.
But just to go back to Neville or the Air Force and the diver role, When you think that they hoisted 200 people
No,
off
that's
there,
crazy.
and they could only
Yeah.
take a few at a time.
Yeah.
We saw 2 ladies get hoisted up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been a hell of a
Like you
job.
said,
He said they got called at 4 a.m. and he only got
Yeah.
back at like 4 the next day.
and the
so.
Navy divers coming in, like risking their lives.
Yeah.
The musos and the guy and the I mean, it seems like the crew was off. You know,
No,
my
the
God.
entertainment crew literally
Cool.
got through the next
Entertainment
morning,
crew.
and they were the
Yeah.
SOS call.
Unbelievable. And
Yeah.
I wonder if they're still around, if they're still playing, if they're still jamming.
Well, I'm
I
sure
wonder.
they are. I think the one guy, the one entertainer, is now a cruise director.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Oh wow!
But the interesting thing is,
Gary's
you know,
googling again.
we were talking about it earlier. The one entertainer, I think it was Moss Hills,
Yeah.
went to the bridge to see what was going on.
Yes.
And the bridge was deserted.
Yeah.
And he heard the radios going off. So he
Oh,
answered
yes.
one of the radio calls.
This is Goeiemorgen South Africa on Sunny Cock or something like that.
Well, the guy, it was a freighter that had come in quite close to the Oceanos. It could have been the one you got onto.
Yeah.
And the first question he was asked was, "What is your float time?"
What's your
Yeah.
And he said, "I don't have a clue." And they said, "What's your rank?" He said, "I'm a guitarist."
What's your rank? What's your rank? I'm a guitar player.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane.
Oh,
And the magician as well that was there, and then I think it was him and his wife, Moss and his wife,
Tracy, yeah.
Tracy
Yeah.
Hills, and I mean, just to take on that as well, you know,
No,
take that mantle
It's
on.
a
You know?
complete role of like
Yeah.
entertainment and sort of like
When the captain's like,
guidance and-
just trying to get the hell out of there, like,
Funny enough, going back to what Danny Fisher was saying there, I told you earlier, we went to a conference in 2000, and Robin Boltman was actually one of the entertainers at this conference,
oh wow.
the Wild Coast Sun.
That's the magician, man, Robert.
And
Ball.
if I'm not mistaken,
That was one Danny's talking about. Yeah,
correct. If I'm not mistaken, and it's a long time ago, but he was involved with the Kililaro hijacking, the Kililaro fire,
Oh,
and the
I
Oceanos.
feel like he shouldn't have been aboard.
like,
Absolutely. And he's now the guy who I think's become a cruise director, but he told the story about this bloody parrot
yeah,
who would always upset his jokes and always tricks. So he'd have this parrot, he could never get rid of it. So
we tell people about the tricks. Yeah,
he was hiding things, the magician was hiding things, and the parrot would say, "It's up his sleeve,
yeah.
it's in his pocket." And eventually on the Oceanos, the parrot said, "I'll give up. Where's the effing boat?" I think that's what Danny Fisher
See,
was.
that's what Danny Fisher's
Okay,
referring to.
okay,
Yes,
all right.
absolutely.
What have you done with it?
Oh, man. But Sam, thank you so much for
Oh, it's
coming.
only a
on. It's been
pleasure.
fantastic. Oh, there we go.
book, Robin Bolton's book.
Oh yes, okay.
Forward by Barry Hilton. Rowan Baldwin's book. Well done, Barry, as well, because Barry here 31st of May. Don't forget about that as well. And
It's been a
Sam,
lovely
thank
show.
you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
It's
being
a
on the show.
pleasure.
It's fantastic
Yeah.
to have you on. And
Cool,
the
it's been
fires,
great.
Thank you so
what
much.
a great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah,
much,
thank
Sam.
you.
Firing on all cylinders was a good one tonight. Though. It was fantastic.
Lovely
We've
show.
got, guys, we have a Fitch and Leeds. We always give away a
Yes,
case of
I believe
Fitch and
so.
Leeds. So we've got our, I think Gary's going to bring it on. We push the, we pull the one-arm bandit and see what happens. Let's check it out. See who's going to win the Fitch and
That would
Leeds.
that'd be hilarious.
Kindly, Wendy will get your details.
Oh, you're so close.
We won 2 weeks ago. We're going to do another one because she's won
sorry.
within 90 days. Sorry, Camilla, you can't have a thing. You haven't even finished
Give it
your
a
last
run.
one yet. Let's have a look. Here we go. It's going around. Oh, Davina!
Oh!
Davina, you are our winner. Fantastic.
Lovely.
And we'll get that sent to you. I'm sure
Well done, Duck.
Wendy will get Wendy will get all of you and we'll organize it. Thank you
Cool.
and cheers.
Cheers.
It's been wonderful
Yeah,
having
it's
this.
lovely. Thank you.
Bloody,
Thank you.
this stuff's going to my head. I can
Yeah,
tell you.
I must say, from a
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's spot.